Assalamualaikum kongsi apa yang terjadi. Bukan borak cerita betul yang lama kita alami. Ada yang budi ikhlas, ada yang juga kroni. Tak perlu hati-hati, boleh luahkan dekat sini.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Turun Cakap Nick Mikael episode 7. Episode 7 ni is sponsored by Debtpedia. Kalau ada masalah hutang, please go to Debtpedia. Diorang akan advise you the right way to get rid of your debts. You know? And also kita we are filmed by Yas Media Production. So untuk episod 7 ni, kita akan berbual dengan sponsor himself. So in the studio right now, my bro Sufian Omar, Debtpedia. Datuk, apa khabar Datuk?
Baik Datuk.
Okay, so you are Debtpedia. You are what's your role dalam Debtpedia?
Okay, basically my role itself is actually managing director.
Okay.
Okay, and also I'm involved heavily in the operation side lah.
Operation
so technically I'm more to the advisory.
Okay, dah berapa lama you buat debt advising ni?
Okay, I've been in this trade for close to 3 years.
Okay.
Okay, close to 3 years. And there's a lot of things that I've learned along the way lah. Okay, through people's experiences. And through masalah-masalah orang kat luar ni semua, kita try to study case by case basis lah. Okay, meaning to say tak semua orang dia punya cases sama.
Okay. Before we touch on that case,
Correct.
What's your background sebelum you jadi debt advisor?
Okay, my background is nothing got to do with any advisor.
Lah. Sebelum jadi debt advisor.
Sebelum jadi debt advisor, I was a safety officer.
Okay.
Kira tukang lah.
Okay. So you were safety officer for how many years?
Okay, I've been in this line, safety officer for close to 8 years.
8 years. Apa yang buat you cross over to debt advising?
Okay, this is something which is quite sensitive and also quite interesting for me lah. Okay, because I have few friends kenalan kat luar, who has been kira kan terjebak lah dalam ni masalah dunia perhutangan ni lah. Okay, so with that itself, kita pun at that point of time I used to be from other company to learn all these trades lah. Okay, I have to thank the previous company for giving me the opportunity lah. So with that itself, dalam perjalanan saya kat sana, okay, I've truly learned a lot lah. And I've seen people from all walks of life, background ni semua lah, macam mana diorang boleh terjatuh dalam ni benda. So from that itself, I'm able to actually tackle their issues more in detail.
What is your say about this? Ini benda ada a bit controversial sikit aku nak tanya kau ni. What is your comment on orang bangsa lain lagi pandai handle hutang daripada orang Melayu? What is your comment on that?
Okay, I have to disagree on some terms lah. Okay. When you talk about other races, who are able to actually tackle these issues, I can safely say that they know somehow or rather hearsay. Kira kan orang luar cakap macam mana, diorang angkat itu advice bulat-bulat. They didn't go to the right person to actually get advice. So when they get advice from the wrong person, their expectation is different. And the social stigma will still be there. So when we deal with clients of all backgrounds, all races itself, we find out that benda ni is actually bukan cakap nothing new lah. Semua bangsa they have this. They face all this. It's just that they doesn't understand macam mana how to go about. How to go about with all this proceeding. Apa yang solution ada dekat Singapura, that can actually tackle and curb their issues.
So this saying yang orang Melayu tak pandai handle hutang, orang Melayu tak pandai settle hutang is basically not true lah.
Basically not true lah.
Ada races pun hamlau jugalah bila diorang handle diorang punya hutang juga.
Ada yang terror jugalah. I can say other than our races, diorang lagi terror lah. It's just that diorang punya belief.
Terror or ambitious?
Ambitious one thing, and bila ambitious, terror also comes in part. That's when everything accumulates lah.
Do you feel kan that our society ni, kita ni suka take risk, something like kita tahu kita tak boleh afford, kita ambil juga courts. Kita tahu kita tak boleh bayar, kita ambil juga legal money lending. Kita tahu juga kita tak boleh afford, kita sign sampai 5-6 credit card. Do you find based on your experience, our society ni like to overcommit?
Yes, basically yes lah. Okay, it's because of one thing lah. Okay, we are living in a modern world, modern generation, modern trending issues lah. Okay, so for this itself is basically based on trending issues that has been in our millennial what do you call it, dalam kita punya list of life lah. Okay, we ourselves, kita ni suka ikut tau trend macam mana. Okay, macam let's say newlywed couples. Okay, bila diorang pergi rumah-rumah kawan-kawan diorang yang baru renovate ni semua, then bila diorang do all this survey, tak apa, kita nak kena ada macam gini-gini punya konsep gini semua. So when all these thing ada dalam kepala otak diorang, okay, they want to actually, okay, senang kata lah, kita ni nak be above than apa yang kita nampak.
Macam cerita Alibaba lah, orang nak TV baru.
Yes, orang TV 50 inci je nak 70 inci, something like that. Kira kan tak nak kalah lah.
So because of this, but before aku touch on that kan, don't you feel, katakan macam some people would say to you, tapi bang, it's like I'm not being ambitious or I am like, you know, over committing. It's like I want the best for my family, I want the best for my wife. So tak apalah, I commit ni tapi I kerja lebih sikit. Tapi yang ada make it, yang ada tak dapat make it.
Correct.
So kadang-kadang niat tu is not only because of dorang nak lebih. So kadang-kadang I also feel yang niat tu pun pasal dorang want their family to have a better life.
Correct.
Cuma kadang-kadang kita ni tak pandai nilai diri kita ni. It's like if we know our pay is 1 month 4,000, we cannot lah commit sampai 1 bulan hutang 4,000, you know. So I think that is what kasi orang yang get into debt more and more.
Heavier debts lah.
So bila someone gets into debt, okay, apa yang selalu the first mistake atau the first phase tu yang akan kasih dia lagi dalam, lagi dalam, lagi dalam? Itu first slide tu selalunya apa?
Okay, this thing is subjective lah, if I can say. Okay, because kita ni, okay, I can say bila kita dah dalam dunia pekerjaan ni semua, when we already kirakan dapat rasa tu gaji macam mana, gaji yang sebenar-benarnya yang kita patut dapat. Let's say lah, okay, orang ni tak pernah dapat gaji 4,000, tiba-tiba dia punya rezeki kat sana dapat gaji 4,000. So bila dia dapat rasa the first taste of dia punya gaji tu, dia rasa that, okay, look, I can actually provide more for the family. Okay, so with that itself, okay, when dia tengok apa-apa yang with sekarang ni trending issues, okay, nak ada rumah lawa ke, nak ada latest gadget or whatever, they want to keep up with the trend. So bila dorang ada something that can actually unlock an items outside, okay, they will resort to do that. Okay, senang katalah macam sekarang ni trend, okay, handphone. Every 6 months mesti ada keluar baru ni handphone. Okay, and people will like to actually keep updated with themselves. Okay, with all this latest technology dia. So bila dorang tengok yang dorang punya gaji ni sebelum tolak liabilities, okay, basically for our society that I can say based on my analysis and my case study, okay, we fail to actually tolak dulu apa kita punya liabilities dulu. Okay, and kita selalu mungkin ada this sikap whereby, okay, tak apa, yang ini nabil, maybe nanti kita boleh bayar. Okay, benda ni aku nak kena capai dulu pasal ni benda aku dah lama dah aim. Okay,
ikut hati lah, hati dulu lah.
Ikut hati, ikut data tengok TV ke apa, benda-benda ni dah keluar kan. So they want to actually get some the best for themselves and also for the family.
Okay.
So when everything kicks in, okay, they fail to see whereby these liabilities of them yang sepatutnya dorang nak kena clear dulu, okay, they fail to do so. Okay, and bila sikap asyik tolak tepi nanti dulu, this thing will eventually snowball without them realizing. Okay, because all these thing will keep accumulating lah, macam bill handphone lah, okay, or kirakan duit pasar ni semua. These thing are something which is macam, let's say duit pasar lah, something runs out in family punya itineraries. Okay, duit pasar sekarang bukan murah.
Correct.
Bukan murah, I can tell you. Okay, kalau orang yang macam jarang pergi JB macam ni lah, okay, I can say that macam duit pasar, I can estimately per month I can reach around close to 500, close to 500 just for a small family punya kirakan sustenance lah. Okay, but if people, okay, would like to kirakan live beyond their means, okay, that is something which is very hard to actually control lah. Ini kirakan walau macam mana orang advice pun, Luxury lah. Kirakan orang tu
makan daging wagyu kat rumah wagyu.
Something macam gitulah. So
But you see, this thing has been going around for years. It's like macam mana kita advise orang pun, macam you cakap kan, okay, kau tak boleh commit, you have to, you have to calculate first apa kau tolak baru kau boleh belanja. This thing advice ni dah turun-temurun zaman hang tua orang dah advise tau.
Memang tu.
Tapi people still go through it. So consider kita ni generation degil ke atau generation yang do you find that the clients that you see ni dia orang ada this sikap, tak apalah besok boleh cakap lah, tak apalah, when it comes lah, sekarang aku enjoy first. Is that the first journey to Jahannamness?
Okay, I can say that, okay, maybe I'm wrong lah, okay, don't quote my words lah, but I can say that for this itself, kita punya masyarakat sekarang is more to risk taker. Okay, we are very ambitious.
Correct.
We are very ambitious. Kira kan macam orang lain dah buat tu benda, dia pun nak buat juga. So when we are ambitious, we fail to see kita punya capability. Whereby kita punya capability is somewhere there. Okay, but we have the tendency to go even higher. So when we have that kind of mentality, we fail to actually control all these curves. This thing will arise, and this thing has been around since generations ago. Okay. Cuma sekarang ni is something new. Kirakan orang yang muda-muda who have the ability to actually unlock all these credit facilities with their current age, their current employment, when they are able to actually dapat first time pegang tu credit card, they want to test out how this credit card works. Tak apalah, okay, aku tak pernah pakai ni credit card, aku baru dapat, okay, maybe aku swipe dulu tengok ni macam mana. Lepas lah. So basically bila diorang tahu, bila satu dah lepas, dua dah lepas, tiga dah lepas, this thing becomes a habit. Okay. Really a habit, and this habit is very very difficult to actually take out from diri.
It becomes a habit yang macam kalau kita nak barang normally kita save.
Yes.
Tapi sekarang ada kad kan?
Correct.
Beli dulu, bayar later.
Correct.
Boleh tak boleh later. Tak boleh, sini ambil cover sini sikit. What is the most common case of debt yang for the past 3 years ni yang you can, the most common lah apa? Okay. Is it credit card? Is it reno loan? Is it personal loan? Is it court? Apa yang the most common one in our society? Hari ni aku tak nak cakap pasal bangsa lain, pasal yang tengok ni banyak bangsa Melayu. Okay, so what is the most common one?
Okay, the most common
Yeah.
if I were to do an analysis of that, okay, kita tak payah cakap pasal credit card lah, okay, all these high purchase, okay, all these things are normal. Okay, what is the latest and the scariest thing that terjadi kat masyarakat kita, okay, is the existence of, jangan terkejut the emergence of all these licensed money lender. Okay, let me ask lah, okay, if you allow to, kalau let's say kalau orang ni tak dapat apply for credit card, tak lepas lah ni semua, okay, mana lagi dia punya last option yang dia boleh dapat duit? Money lending. This is very very, kirakan to me is very worrying.
But for me, kalau kau cakap macam itu kan, okay, before kita continue, I have to tell you all yang tengok ni, I am someone who could counter apa yang Sofian cakap ni, because I was a money lender before. Bukan aku yang pinjamkan nak, I work for somebody. I worked as a money lender before, I worked as a debt collector before, you know, and nanti on we will talk about I used to be a bankrupt, I'm already discharged. So basically, aku have gone through it. So when you said about this thing about legal money lender, because normally kalau orang tu datang kat kita, okay, we base katakan orang tu gaji, taruhlah gaji dia 3,000 kan, the loans yang kita akan kasih dia mungkin we give them about 1,500, tapi dia boleh ambil 2 kali je, you know.
Correct.
And all of us kita ada network, mungkin dia ambil daripada kedai ni 2, tapi lain kedai is konsep kita punya sister company, dia tak boleh ambil.
Correct.
So maybe kat Singapore ni ada cuma 3-4 macamnya kompok aja. So kalau amount tu kecil, how they want to cover? Pasal I know credit card 7,000, 5,000, even they take tu, is basically what aku realise lah, it's not enough untuk, it's just to cover mungkin for 1 or 2 months punya bill lah. Lepas tu they still need to pay the credit card.
Correct.
They still need to pay this money lender. And money lender ni walaupun interest dia kecil, kau bayar lambat kau jahanam. You know, Government law at one point was only 4%.
Correct.
Tapi the late fees, the admin fees is a killer. So although aku used to work as one, I'm telling you guys this sebelum dia continue to share his experience and to educate us in depth. Always go to legal money lender kalau itu betul kau punya last resort, family tak nak tolong, kawan tak nak tolong, and you really got nowhere to go, and katakan it's life and death scenario lah, you know, and you also cannot kirakan to the maximum, to the last lah, betul-betul tak ada option lah. But even you take the option, it is not going to benefit you. This is what I'm going to tell you right now, you know. Ni kalau bos-bos lama aku tengok dia marah ni, ni what you thought like that ah. Okay, anyway. So bila orang pergi this money lender kan, we know and I know they cannot pay. So dorang akan ada problem dengan bank or the loan companies. Tapi it is more stressful to have outstanding loan with money lenders.
Correct.
Pasal we dispatch our debt collectors very very actively.
Correct.
Kalau macam bank kan, mungkin dia hantar surat. Bank hantar debt collectors tak sekarang?
Bank usually they will
Macam courts ke mana hantar?
jarang. Kalau courts yes. Okay, kalau bank usually go by letter of demands lah.
Letter of demand.
Letter of demand.
So bila letter of demand tu is not so stressful because we know you're going to have a very hard time. Tapi it's the meeting of people tu, orang yang selalu yang buat orang stress tu is when debt collectors come.
Correct.
Because I've attend to hundreds of cases. So bila kita datang tu, itu yang buat orang betul-betul stressed out and get orang so desperate.
Correct.
You know. Tapi dulu main law dengan sekarang main law is totally different tau kan.
Betul.
Dulu main law is basically is aku can come and really shake your house. But now there are actually ways that you can stop a debt collector to come to your house. Itu kita tak nak reveal sini lah, kalau tidak aku kasih free lesson. You know, if you think you have debt collectors disturbing your house and you do not know how to get out of it, you know, you can contact Sophian from Debtpedia and he will guide. Kita go back on the topic yang pasal bila orang Melayu tu dia commit by legal money lender. So apa yang happens to them next?
Okay, what happens to them? Okay, very simple lah. Okay, kita usually kita access diorang punya money lender credit bureau, okay, to see the severity of it lah. Okay, but for this itself, okay, what I experienced for the past few years of handling this client who have legal money lender issue, usually they will not have one, they have multiple. Okay, island wide lah. So kirakan macam mana tau, kalau sini lepas they will try another one, kalau lepas they will try another one. Okay, it's all not on the same day. Okay, selang-seli berapa hari. Okay, just to get the amount that they intended to lah.
1,500, 500,
Correct.
400, 1,000.
Correct. Okay, because if you were to ask me, kalau pinjam 500, apa yang boleh buat dengan tu 500? Okay. So basically they have something in mind that, okay, look, I'm looking for 2,000. Siapa yang boleh pinjam 2,000? Saudara tak boleh, ni semua tak boleh kan? Okay, they go to money lender. Money lender pula can only disburse them 500. In which ada admin fee dorang, okay, yang dorang nak kena ambil lah. So mungkin 4-5 yang dorang dapat. Okay. So 4-5 tu dorang akan fikir, okay, ni tak cukup, 4-5 dia tak cukup, I need 2,000. So why not? Aku nampak lagi satu legal money lender kat sana. Why not we try lah.
Correct.
Try nasib. Dapat lepas. Okay. So when dorang dah ambil ni semua, okay, certain money lenders they have their criteria of repayment. Ada some go with weekly payment, ada go by payday loan, ada by monthly meal loan as per normal. Okay. Dorang akan tengok gaji. Walau macam mana pun they will have the access to your CBS to actually tengok korang punya credit scores lah. So for that itself, dari sana diorang dapat baca orangnya probability tu dia boleh bayar ke tak boleh bayar. Okay, and legal money lender ni they are very very smart people. They know that the moment when people take this loan dengan kadar gaji diorang sebegitu, okay, they know this particular person doesn't have the capability to make the repayment. Okay, so when this thing happens, diorang pun ada diorang punya contingency plan lah. Okay, I believe lah. Okay, and when this contingency plan kicks in, okay, bila diorang tak dapat bayar, maybe gaji lambat ke atau gaji harus digunakan dalam other uses, okay, the amount, okay, we call this thing amount, disposable amount. Meaning to say dah tolak duit sana, tolak duit sini, dapat duit belen. Duit belen tu is actually we call it disposable amount. Ini disposable amount dia untuk bayar this license money lender dah tak boleh.
Correct.
Kalau dah tak boleh tu, okay, let's say lah kalau satu lepas, dia ada 4, lagi 3 macam mana?
Correct.
So what they do, okay, what they normally do, diorang will actually bayar, okay, this money lender, they will reloan again.
They will pay minimum, then after dia akan
reloan from the same company.
Correct.
Untuk tutup lubang lain satu.
Correct.
So bila dah tutup lubang lain satu, they will reloan again, tutup lubang lain satu. So this kind of mentality has been ongoing here and there lah. So basically kalau if they want to find the solution untuk tutupkan masalah ni, memang I can safely say memang tak ada lah. Dah tak ada jalan keluar lah. Okay, it will forever be like that. Every month will be like this. Okay. Because kalau nak tunggu bonus pun lama untuk tutup semua. Okay, and for the past 11 months yang diorang live with it, I can tell you is basically a nightmare lah. For them to actually live in this kind of situation.
Tapi you see, okay, right now, okay, katakan dia hutang credit card okay, dia hutang credit card, dia hutang whatever loan dia ada. Then dia hutang money lender. As I know, during my time as a money lender, kalau bayar lambat, apa yang kau bayar tu is just interest.
Correct.
Bila kau reloan tu actually you're reloaning to pay your interest.
Correct.
Pokok tak jalan. Dan kalau kau lambat lagi, ada late payment, ada penalty, the amount will get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Definitely.
And we dispatch debt collectors to make your life a living hell. Although sekarang debt collector are very polite, tapi dengan the banner, dengan everyday coming to your house, everyday giving you, macam kadang-kadang malu kadang, because there are tactics that they use that yang akan malukan kau dan akan give you very stress. Itu yang orang paling takutkan, debt collectors coming to the house, coming to the workplace. Pasal the thing is they can do that. They are allowed to do that. Cuma the time yang pekik-pekik tu kan, gaduh-gaduh tu dah tak ada lagi lah. But it's still very very stressful.
Correct.
So bila orang tu dah ada debt, katakanlah dia debt dia dah escalate as much as 10,000 with the money lenders. As we know, to qualify to settle your debt, there's this thing called the DRS kan, the DRS tu, tapi belum 15, baru 10. Perjalanan tu nak kasih interest tu grow 10 sampai 15 tu jauh tau. Dan kalau we kata if the customer or the client tu waiting for the option, aku tunggu 15 lah, lepas tu aku opt for this option, that journey 5,000 tu will cost them a lot of hardship and a lot of visits.
Correct.
What is your advice on that?
Okay. My advice is very simple lah. Okay. You need to know your efforts lah in actually the repayment terms lah. Okay, when you take something, you need to know of macam mana yang you punya capability untuk bayar dorang lah, within your means lah. Okay, and at times is already beyond your means. Okay, I can say that is already beyond debtor punya means to actually pay off all this amount lah, because kadang-kadang dorang minta pembayaran tu kadang-kadang tak menakal. Can be weekly, okay, because based on experience, dorang memang dah tak boleh bayar whatever the licensed money lender demand. Dah tak boleh bayar pun. Okay, so for this itself, okay, untuk dorang lalui this phase it's not easy. I can tell you it's not easy. Okay, and they will expect lah, okay, things will go haywire along the way, such as debt collectors going around their workplace. Okay, and okay, masyarakat kita very simple lah. For banks and whatsoever, diorang tak takut sangat, tak sebab takut. Okay, because they are not on the forefront to actually get your money. Okay, tapi diorang cuma takut, what if, okay, this licensed money lender will resort to engage a debt collector to go to their workplace instead of their home. Okay, bear in mind kalau if the person itself is working somewhere around the frontliners, okay, and they are actually exposed to all these customers and all that, if let's say the debt collector were to come to their workplace, okay, first and foremost, diorang mesti rasa takut. Confirm rasa takut. Okay, second, dah tak tahu mana nak lari pun, pintu dah jauh sangat, dah tak tahu mana nak lari. Okay, and thirdly, when they come, okay, all these clients diorang tak ada tu duit untuk bayar dulu. Memang tak ada duit pun, and maybe they are left just with a partial amount lah of money to actually, okay lah, look, aku cuma ada ni dia, kalau nak ambil lah. Okay, and for debt collectors itself, okay, I have to agree with you lah. Okay, nowadays they are very polite and all that. Okay, cuma masyarakat kita, we are not ready to actually face all these troubles. Why? First and foremost, okay, this thing might jeopardize their work. Definitely, for sure, it will jeopardize their work lah. Okay, and what happen if their managerial level gets to know of their current situation. Okay, what if their colleagues dah tahu? Okay, so when all these people when they get to know, okay, back in their mind as a debtor diorang mesti rasa, alamak, ini aku rasa kalau di benda berterusan, I think my job here is already finished, was already done for lah. Okay, and inilah kira-kira sumber rezeki yang aku ada untuk actually provide the family. Aku kalau pergi kat luar lain dah tak boleh dapat gaji macam gini pun. So for that itself, untuk dorang curb this issue, ada caranya. Okay, but you need to kirakan comply with that lah. Okay, because for me myself, okay, what I personally feel, there's no use of you running. Memang dah tak ada pintu keluar pun. Even though if you hide at home, they will actually hunt you at home.
So basically, if you guys are watching and you guys are in debt and korang stress and debt collector ni asyik datang rumah korang, datang tempat kerja korang, and you feel lan-lan orang minta kena bayar, kalau tak orang keep on coming. If actually there is a way to stop debt collectors, tapi kita tak akan reveal sini. Tapi kalau you nak tahu macam mana to stop debt collectors, contact Sufyan Omar from Debtpedia. He will guide you. Actually, debt collectors can be stopped. There is a way to stop them yang dorang tak boleh datang with something yang they will guide you lah. I know, I just want to say it now. Telefon ada kalau nak tahu. Kita take a break. And we'll come back in segment 2 and kita akan talk more about this DRS, this bankruptcy, how is life bila kita bankrupt, how is life bila kita DRS, or macam mana kita nak avoid all this DRS. And the most important thing yang later ni segmen tu yang aku betul-betul nak cakap is, can the Malay society be more responsible in their finances? Datang segmen 2, tengok korang apa yang korang buat tu. Tengok segmen 2.
Mari terus cakap, never ever give up. Asal long break, let's put our hands up.
Okay guys, welcome back to segment 2, episode 7. Kita akan buat pasal hutang. Dan we still have kat studio ni Sufyan Omar from Debtpedia. Kita akan continue tadi apa kita cakap. So, dalam segmen 2 ni, aku nak tanya kau pasal this thing called the DRS. Okay? DRS ni is basically apa? Way yang government kasih solution untuk orang hutang, untuk orang jangan bankrupt ke apa? Okay. Who started this DRS?
Okay, DRS, okay, in short is called DRS lah. Okay, in longer terms is called Debt Repayment Scheme. So this Debt Repayment Scheme, okay, is initiated by Ministry of Law. Okay, is governed under Bankruptcy Act. Okay, existed since 2009. Okay, all this information can be found dekat Ministry of Law punya website lah. So basically about how this DRS started, you can actually find out from there.
So sorry, this DRS ni, diorang create jadi orang tak bankrupt, is it? Can I say that?
It's actually a pre-bankruptcy scheme. Okay, this DRS is actually designed, okay, tailored, okay, to avoid debtors into going into bankruptcy. Okay, that's the main purpose of DRS.
What's the amount?
Okay, the amount is 15,000 and above, okay, and it's actually below 100,000 lah. Anything which is more than 100,000, okay, is not liable for DRS. You will not be eligible for that.
Bro, kalau macam orang tu hutang tak sampai 15,000, katakan hutang 8,000 ke 10,000 ke, macam mana tu?
Okay, for us, our company Debtpedia itself, okay, Debtpedia is actually a debt advisory center, okay, for people to actually come and seek for solutions. Okay, what are the various solutions available? Okay, if let's say their amount doesn't hit to the mark of what is the required amount for eligibility of DRS, okay, we actually study their case and we will channel them to the right solution that they can actually go to. Okay, such as, okay, dekat Singapore ada 6. Okay, there is 6 kind of solution that they can go to. Okay, I shall elaborate just a short pointers for it lah. Okay, such as self-administration, lump sum with discount, debt management program initiated by Credit Counselling of Singapore, in short CCS lah. Okay, DCP, debt consolidation plan by the bank itself, 14 participating banks in Singapore. Number 5, okay, debt repayment scheme, Ministry of Law, and the last option in Singapore, masih ada harapan, which is bankruptcy.
Tapi banyak-banyak choice macam ini, rasanya macam banyak orang je pergi DRS dengan bankrupt terus. Jarang orang pergi macam choice-choice yang lain tu. Based on experience dan based on apa aku dengar orang cakap lah. Kebanyakan orang yang debt yang selalunya below 15,000 orang tak lagi DRS tu kan. It's like a rumor yang aku dengar tau. Macam bila hutang tu dah 9-10 ribu, it's either you get money from somewhere to settle habis terus, ataupun dia akan escalate to that 15,000. Macam this association yang baru kau sebut ni kan ada, tapi tak banyak orang pakai. Is it true?
Correct. Okay, ada juga orang pakai. Okay,
Tapi
ada.
tak banyak lah.
Memang tak banyak, but there is lah. Okay, bila tak banyak tu, I can say there are thousands of people who actually be involved in this kind of kirakan repayment structures lah. Okay, for like macam let's say self-administration. Okay, when they go to bank, diorang berbual dengan diorang punya finance officer.
Yeah.
Okay, to seek for restructured payment. Ada. Okay,
So, one thing, sorry. One thing aku know pun sekarang, kalau kau ada hutang bank pun, you can make a repayment plan dengan bank itself.
there is.
You can meet the bank officers and you can discuss. Ini semua consider case-case yang bagi aku yang masih ada harapan ataupun case-case yang masih boleh berbual lah.
Betul.
Tapi aku rasa the main play and the main core of Debtpedia ni is when debt tu dah naik 15,000.
Correct.
Bila debt naik 15,000, kalau tak pandai settle, tak tahu macam mana nak settle, dia akan escalate.
Correct.
Pasal I think kan, kalau debt kau 15,000, sekarang to be a bankrupt berapa ribu?
To be a bankrupt, okay, it's actually what you call it, varies from 15,000 and above.
Ya, pasal bagi aku kalau 15,000 nak bankrupt tu macam very wasted lah.
Wasted?
Macam kalau kau nak bankrupt 80,000 ke 100,000 ke, you know, it makes sense.
Correct.
But talking about 15,000, ni what is your say pasal orang yang tak boleh bayar hutang dan dorang ni betul-betul DRS pun orang tak boleh, dorang lepas pergi bankrupt. Lepas tu dorang kerja government. Kerja government mana boleh bankrupt?
Correct.
Kerja polis mana boleh bankrupt? Kerja bomba mana boleh bankrupt? So all these people yang from your experience, what's going to happen to them?
Okay, based on experience, those who are working in civil service line lah, okay, government sector, be it uniform groups, hospital, schools and all that lah. Okay, we will actually advise them, okay, based on their current situation that they are facing right now. Okay, it will be best for them to actually understand all of the situation first. Okay, and to make them understand, they need to actually sit for an appointment to actually know much in deeper what the solution can able to kirakan tolong dorang lah in return. Okay, and for that, okay, being in civil servant is very sensitive because every year I believe there is a financial embarrassment. Okay, very important. Okay, and this financial embarrassment is to actually enable all these people who are actually handling invoices. Okay, those are involved with armory and all that. Okay, they cannot be in that front line lah. Okay, because all of these things is monetary issues lah. Okay, so when people, okay, those from civil servant who actually wants to go into such schemes, okay, it will be best advice, okay, for them to actually seek advice from the higher levels of commander, okay, to make sure they understand your situation and what is the current solution that they actually are working out to actually repair all these kirakan benda-benda yang terjadi masa-masa lalu lah.
Okay, tak ada getting advice from commanders ke, from managers ke, from dorang punya above punya rank ke, tu aku faham. But the thing is, it's clear cut because I read the law. It's clear cut. Kalau kau working for the government, right, you cannot be bankrupt. If you are bankrupt, you will be asked to leave. You cannot work, you cannot work there lagi.
Definitely.
So dorang akan lose dorang punya job.
Correct.
So when dorang lose dorang punya job tu, some people will take that path. Lan, I cannot pay already, I have to be bankrupt. But some people ni, dorang still nak save the job. So dorang akan pergi that they are, okay, what I'm sharing this to you is also to educate people yang who are working in the government. Kalau korang dah tahu korang kerja dengan government, every single time korang nak swipe card korang have to think that swipe could be a signature to bankruptcy and for you to go out of the force or out of the government sector. So it is just a reminder and just a bit of education to really understand apa yang korang pinjam. Pasal korang yang paling rabak, pasal korang kalau bankrupt, you will lose your rice bowl.
Definitely.
You know? Orang from the government sector boleh ambil DRS?
Boleh?
Oh, they still can qualify?
Boleh.
Okay. So when someone go through DRS ni kan, okay, before aku touch on that, you see, I see a lot of companies doing debt advising. You are one of them.
Correct.
Okay. And aku pun understand, kata sekarang macam ni tau. Okay, sekarang gua ni banyak utang ni. Bulan-bulan kau bayar credit card, waktu kau bayar loan 3,000, 4,000, 3,000, 4,000. I want to stop all this. Okay. And I heard about this DRS. okay, now I choose your company to do this for me. I understand that you guys charge a fee.
Correct.
An affordable fee.
Correct.
Okay, you don't have to say it, I will say it. Bila aku compare you and the rest, your amount is the smallest.
Absolutely.
I did that comparing, you know. Then after that, dorang harus bayar that administrative fee.
Mandatory Ministry of Law fees.
Duit tu akan pergi kat
the government itself.
government lah.
The law
Not to you all lah.
No.
Okay, so if I seek that way out, bro, aku ni dah tak boleh ni. Tapi aku nak DRS, aku tak nak bankrupt ni. Dan aku pun tak nak creditors petition ni. Tapi aku tak boleh bayar yang duit yang nak bayar government ni. Aku tak boleh bayar kau. So basically, is the only way to tell them, apalah, kalau kau tak boleh bayar means you have to go for creditors petition lah. I cannot help you. Ataupun Debtpedia is a company case on case basis that they will assist atas dasar pertolongan between a human being to a human being. Case to case basis. Korang jangan take advantage. Kalau semua orang datang kat Debtpedia cakap tak boleh bayar, dua orang pun rabak, dia semua. You know, although they are a company that because I believe if anything good that you do, any company that you open, finances coming in is very important. So I believe
Correct.
the structure of your company also is based on the income that is coming in.
Correct.
So do you guys do case to case basis yang macam katakan, okay, I can do it, tapi aku tak boleh mampu nak bayar kau lah. You know, I know kalau you go for DRS, it will take a few months, right, to take effect.
Correct.
And the money tu is after the whole month ke atau macam the starting of waiting tu? Atau bayar sikit.
Okay, we can work out actually for this. Okay, but this thing will be subjected to case by case basis. Meaning to say, we will actually assess the individual's current situation. We will kirakan how to say, okay, we dig deep on their kirakan current habits, okay, and their efforts lah of previously how they actually make their efforts for the repayment methods. Okay, whether diorang ni kirakan masih bayar ke, dah tak boleh bayar, still making the very least effort to actually make do to the creditors that look, this is what I've committed lah. Okay, walaupun sikit, but this is my very best. Okay, we need to know their efforts. Okay, kadang-kadang to tell honestly, okay, we are dealing with a human business and it's not easy to actually please humans along the way. Okay, we might not know that they have the capability of how to say, their finances their pockets and whatever. Kita tak akan tahu. Okay, but we will actually assess their current situation based on, okay, maybe this client mungkin ada medical history yang pakai banyak expenditure along the way lah. Okay, and mungkin sudden shift of income, okay, that kirakan terhambat lah apa yang dorang niat nak bayar all this creditor. So dari sana itself, okay, we have a team to actually go, okay, deeper into their current situation to actually understand better of the previous efforts that they have made previously, okay, in such a way, repayment itself lah, okay. And kalau dorang have already made their very utmost effort, still tak boleh juga, then from there we can actually work out something, okay. We can work out on the service fee, how this service fee can be actually flexible enough lah, okay. But to tell you honestly, okay, yes, we are running a company itself, and we need to actually kirakan be very ethical with our
but why is your, okay, the thing is, okay, for what I know I know, okay, DRS ni is a system yang kau tak boleh tukar.
Correct.
You know, bankruptcy is a system yang kau tak boleh tukar. If everybody is using the same system, why is your price the most paling kecil?
Okay.
You're charging the most paling rendah.
Okay.
Why kau tak match dorang kat dorang punya price? You're doing the same thing, right?
Betul. Okay,
Why?
that is in fact which is most of our clients ever actually question us on this lah. Okay, when they went to company surveys, okay, to get to know what is the best current value, okay, that are able to actually make their money worth lah, okay, in going. Okay, and they ever ask me, kenapa korang punya fee rendah, macam mana korang sustain this and that lah. Okay, to tell you honestly, okay, we understand the process really well, okay, how to go about in self-petitioning processes lah. Okay, and to understand this thing, we need to ensure client knows, okay, whatever amount that they are going to put, okay, for our services, make sure they get the things that they have to get, okay, to make their value worth lah, okay, such as when they engage us, okay, very simple. When you, okay, let's say when they engage me, I will make sure, okay, right from the start until to the end of the process, you will never see anyone except for me myself, okay, and the message that they are going to get is not from anyone else but from me myself. Whatever directives is totally handled by me. If let's say they were to engage me.
So basically, when someone engage Debpedia, can aku cakap, I say that the service that you guys will be given from day one sampai the last day tu dia dapat DRS ke, dapat bankruptcy ke, you guys will walk hand in hand with them to advise the best that you can, to empathize and to really understand what they are going through and to help them as best as you can.
Yes, definitely.
Because aku cakap dengan kau this terus terang this show was approached by many debt educators. Why aku talk to you is because you see sekarang aku nak settle debt. I'm not here to buy a house. I'm not here to buy a car. Real people settle real debts.
Correct.
To me, I do not need someone who's driving a fancy car or dressing up nicely to show to me that they are a successful formula so they can settle my problem. I'm not saying that's the wrong way, but for me, aku rasa why I could choose you guys because this is a show for the people. Tak Turun Cakap is a show where real people talk to real people, and aku feel that after talking to your company, talking to the other company, talking to this advisor, that advisor, I find that you guys are the most real. Jangan ambil hati for the rest of the advisor aku akan cakap korang fake atau aku akan cakap yang korang not good, but to me after talking to a batch of you, I find that Debpedia is the difference between them. Everybody is knowledgeable, you know, everybody is everybody is genuine, everybody is real, but dorang punya touch ni kan, dia ada that street punya touch lah, dia ada that cakap pasar punya touch. Pasal truthfully speaking, kalau kau advise dengan orang yang tak pandai pasal hutang ni kan, kau pasal DRS lah, pasal this association, that association, diorang tak faham. Diorang nak bahasa pasar, very simple. Abang hutang, kakak hutang, okay, first step bang, macam ni nak buat. Abang kena gini. If you talk to them or you educate them or you paint them a beautiful story, you know, but aku will not comment anything on how other people do that stuff lah. To be a debt advisor, ada education level entry ke ataupun what's the criteria to be a debt advisor?
Okay, as of now there is no institution to actually certify you as a debt advisor lah. Okay, but to be one, okay, to be one, you need to actually understand how this process goes, and you need, okay, to have that mindset, okay, of how the government works, basically, okay, which is something we very deep lah. Okay, and to understand in that kind of level, I can tell you it takes kirakan a deep study on how government are able to actually trying their means and ways to actually help debtors. Okay, so as not to abuse the system. Very important. Okay, because this system has been long abused. I can tell you frankly, it's been long abused. Okay, so in order not to make this kind of schemes given by the government pun kat sana wants to help us. Tapi kita sendiri nak kena tolong diri kita sendiri. But how to do that? Okay, basically masyarakat kita, they doesn't know how to go about. Okay, so when they want to go about this thing, okay, the best person to talk to is actually the subject matter expert who are able to actually walk hand in hand with them. Itu very important. And I can tell you to go through this extra mile, it can be quite tedious, penat, and I can tell you is not a thing that semua orang nak buat. Okay, kirakan this thing can even touch human emotion. Boleh terbawa-bawa sampai tidur, boleh terbawa-bawa sampai ke rumah. Okay, so kita basically we are trained, okay, in classes and all that, okay, to actually enhance the level of advisory. Okay, why? Because we are actually handling people outside who have different backgrounds, different culture, and also different mindset. So this is very important for them to actually to touch on something which is very sensitivity, okay, which is money issues.
So for now, you're only doing on personal, commercial belum lagi ya?
Okay, we are this thing
Mana
is
ada
currently,
bos-bos besar kat luar kat sana bisnes dah tak bagus dan nak jahanam.
it's currently in the pipeline lah. It's currently in the pipeline. Inshallah, if everything goes well, okay, we will see how it goes lah.
Okay bro, ini ada soalan panas yang nak tanya kau.
Boleh?
Apa okay, tadi kau cakap lah you will walk hand in hand, you know you will give your best service, but what do you think Debtpedia edge out the rest of the other companies yang kau ada yang dorang tak ada?
Okay.
Pasal aku dah nampak banyak benda yang dorang ada yang kau tak ada.
Okay.
So sekarang aku nak kau cakap apa benda yang dorang tak ada yang kau ada. So sekarang aku pun dah confused, apa yang ada sekarang? Okay, never mind. Apa yang you feel that Debtpedia has that you guys who have problems, who ada masalah, yang who ada nak betul-betul nak settle their hutang, you know, you should go with Debtpedia. Apa yang make you edge out?
Okay. We are okay. This is not self-teeing up lah. I should say it's not even self-proclaimed lah. Okay, but what we did, okay, back then, 2 years back then lah, which is a rough time lah, I can say. But to actually understand deeper on what do you call it, client matters is something which is very very sensitive and also is quite strong for us to actually touch on lah. Okay, and what makes us not say different, okay, but what I can assure to people out there, okay, to those who are having this kind of problem, okay, apa yang boleh dijamin, okay, very simple lah, okay, whatever amount that you actually putting dari mana dekat mana-mana company ke kat luar, I believe you have your own preference, you have your own choices, okay, but always remember lah, whatever you are putting your hard work, okay, duit-duit yang korang save ni semua, okay, which is not a small amount, I can tell you it's not a small amount, is something which is kirakan korang dah ikat perut lah kat luar to actually have this amount to actually repair all your issues. Make sure, okay, you guys, when you put, okay, all this hard work money, okay, for the services of this company, okay, even us, make sure you get this lah. I can tell you, which is one-to-one consultation, okay, one-to-one consultation based on privacy matters, very important, okay, privacy matters. For us, we respect individuals' privacy matters. When we talk something about debt issues, is not something new outside, but it is very sensitive. Okay, kita kalau boleh tak nak orang luar tahu dengan kadar situasi kita. Okay, one-to-one consultation, okay, you get it from me. Okay, secondly, okay, our company, okay, sorry to say, I'm not here to actually offend anyone or whatsoever. Okay, I'm not pointing figures or whatsoever lah. Okay, but we, during any court submission purposes, we are not doing in groups or even tours lah. Okay, which I believe back then in my heart that this is also a privacy matters that we need to respect. Okay. Kadang-kadang orang bila ada masalah hutang ni, diorang takut terserempak orang-orang yang dia kenal. And kadang-kadang orang ni they are very reserved tau. Diorang tak nak macam, alamak, nanti kalau aku pergi court submission nanti what happens kalau aku tak nampak.
Macam excursion lah, tak boleh lah.
Memang kalau by right memang
kena one to one lah.
One to one lah. Secara sebaik-baiknya lah.
Yalah,
okay.
Correct.
Kita don't
faham.
kita tak praktis angkat flag, kira ramai-ramai ikut kat belakang ni semua.
Okay.
Kita tak praktis macam itulah. Okay.
Ada lah macam itu.
Kita walau kita tak tahu. Okay, but
aku merasa macam ada, cara kau cakap macam ada. Okay, tak apa, continue.
Okay, boleh? Okay. Secondly, thirdly, okay, whatever consultation that they get from us, okay, be it in court submissions, online submission towards the government, okay, they will see, the advisor itself, the advisor who handle them, they will see them. Okay, we will tackle their issue, scrutinize right to the detail level. We will actually sit down, plan and even strategize how this thing is supposed to go about. We will give advisors, okay, what you are supposed to do for all these submission matters lah. Okay, and we even, okay, give what you call it, advisors based on kalau let's say diorang ada masalah yang lebih daripada itu, we give personal touches of advisors. Okay, and we will make sure right from the start sampai ke habis you get this kind of services from we ourselves.
Gua tengok lu tadi betul-betul macam campaign, macam orang advertisement commercial tu lah.
Alamak, talah.
Okay, anyway, aku one thing to add on, right? Whoever is watching this, I, Nick Mikael, have decided to join Debtpedia as one of my advisors. So aku tak tahu apa orang punya strength yet because I've not been in the team fully yet. But what I can say is, kan, bila aku join Debtpedia, I will bring in 3 different situations. I've been a debt collector before, I've been a money lender before, and I've been a bankrupt before. So basically, I will also guide you guys macam mana hidup jadi bankrupt ni, apa yang boleh buat, apa yang tak boleh buat, trik-trik money lender, apa yang orang akan buat to you yang masih ada, yang masih belum pergi DRS, masuk bankrupt, all this reloan shit and all this, ambil sini cover sini, and debt collectors, how to stop debt collectors, which is the most stressful thing, So basically I hope bila aku ready and aku get guidance from the team, I can contribute this. And what aku can say is this, guys, this is it. To close up this episode. Semua orang ada hutang. Everybody make mistakes. When someone berhutang tu mana dia make a mistake. Whether mistake tu sengaja atau tak sengaja, it's a mistake. Kita buat, kita tanggung. Tapi kadang-kadang tu, bila kita nak proceed dan kita main life tu, we cannot proceed. Pasal kita masih banyak hutang dan kita lari dari sini, lari dari sini. The truth is, macam mana kau lari pun orang cakap, macam mana kau tak lari pun orang cakap. But in order to be a human back, we need to take the right step. We need to take the right choices so that we can continue our life and start back. Jadi bila kita dah sempurna balik, kita boleh settle debt-debt kita yang lama. Ini aku cakap mungkin dalam personal loan or whatever lah. But in general is, your life does not stop just because you have debt. And I believe if you pick Debtpedia, the team and the experience and the macam-macam patient punya debt advisor akan cater to you, and insyaAllah you get through your debt the best way it is, anyway, to close episode 7, any words that you would like to say to people who are watching this? Kau nak cakap pasal debt ke, kau nak cakap pasal hutang ke, I give you a minute, you can say anything you want.
Okay. Okay, just a pointers or two lah. Okay, when you guys ada masalah when it has to do with debts, okay, try to take a step, okay, of how to solve this matter, okay, in a very tactful way, in a very peaceful way. There is a solution outside, okay, it's never the end of the road, okay, whatever how big or small the problem is, there is a solution, but you guys need to understand this solution came in various forms, okay, and it is best for you to actually get a proper consultation from the right people, from the people who actually understand more of your situation and have already went through all these procedures, okay. And what I can say that whatever that you are facing, okay, please do not make any hasty decision outside, okay. If there is a hope, okay, there is a way, definitely.
Oh, dia lagi tinggi orang. There's a will, there's a way. There's a hope, there's a way. Okay guys, Yan, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for accepting aku dalam Debtpedia. Walaupun aku belum masak untuk jadi a proper debt advisor, I hope the guidance that you guys will give me in the future, I will make the company punya expectation lah.
InsyaAllah.
So guys, thank you for watching episode 7. Ingat, kalau ada hutang, it's not the end of the world. You can settle it the right way. Thank you so much to Debtpedia to become our main sponsor, and thank you to Yas Media Production. Aku akan jumpa korang in the next episode. #Turun Cakap by Nick Mikhail. # semua benda boleh cakap. Jangan lupa subscribe. Alright. Good night.
Streetway, Hombre 21. Assalamualaikum kongsi apa yang terjadi, bukan borak kita betul yang lama kita alami. Ada yang budi ikhlas, ada yang juga kroni. Tak perlu hati-hati, boleh luahkan dekat sini. Puan-puan jangan marah, jangan senggan jika semua terungkap perkara terjadi. Mereka nak ucap segalanya yang tercalar, kita jadikan nik di bar. Rajin bawa mata kail, jawab soalan dia kegail. Mari turun cakap, never ever give up. Asal-asal ombre, let's put our hands up. Mari turun cakap, never ever give up. Asal-asal ombre, let's put our hands up. Mari turun cakap, never ever give up. Asal-asal ombre, let's put our hands up. Mari turun cakap, never ever give up. Asal-asal ombre, let's put our hands up. Mari turun cakap, mari turun cakap, mari turun cakap. Family, unity, cakap, loyalty. Mari turun cakap.